The saga continues. Crenshaw. Well, before we get into Crenshaw, the saga continues, right? There's no Speaker of the House, and it seems like Kevin McCarthy just can't get it. And the 8th vote just went through, and so far 212 Jeffries, 201 McCarthy, and Donald's 17, others 3, and President 1. What's going on here? Well, as it turns out, there's a small minority in the Republican Party that doesn't trust McCarthy at all. You know what is so funny? Imagine if the shoes were on the other foot, how this would have been played out. The irresponsibility of the Democratic Party and much more. Yes, they're talking about the irresponsibility of the Republican Party with McCarthy, but not in the manner that's usually taken when it's something caused by progressives or otherwise. These guys are terrorists in the Republican Party. That's what they are. Terrorists in the Republican Party. 90% of the Republican Party wants Kevin. 90% of the Republican Party wants Kevin. They have the majority. Again, this mentality within the within republicanism, where minority rules, even continues within their own party. Even within their own party, it continues. Well, let's see what Congressman Crenshaw. Dan Crenshaw is a Republican from Texas. He's actually my congressman. I didn't vote for him, but he's my congressman from my district, District 2 in Texas. Check out what he had to say. Then we'll take it on the other side.
Talk about those moderates and how they're feeling tonight about the Never Kevin Republicans. I want to share what Texas Congressman Dan Crenshaw said earlier today.
They say their goal is some noble cause for the cause of conservatism, for the people, for holding the swamp accountable, right? Of course, none of this is true. None of this is true whatsoever. This is purely a play for more airtime, and they're getting it. It makes us look foolish. If I didn't know any better, it's like the Democrats paid these people off. Hey, let's pay them off. Let's make it look like the Republicans can't govern and don't deserve any gavels whatsoever.
They keep coming up with more and more ridiculous reasons. I love bringing up the example of Bob Good, because I think he's one of the worst members of our caucus. This is an absolute dud. But he literally got up and he was mad at McCarthy because McCarthy took 3 weeks to call him after his election. Can you believe that? McCarthy, by the way, spent about $2 million to get that loser elected because he couldn't get it elected on his own. You know, Lauren Boebert, who just insulted Donald Trump just because Trump's supporting McCarthy, I mean, she barely won her election. McCarthy spent a bunch of money on her because she's not good enough to win in an R+6 or 7 or whatever that is. You know, these members contribute nothing to our majority. They contribute nothing to the conservative movement. They don't write bills. They don't think about policy. They don't even know who Thomas Sowell is. They've never read anything about conservative philosophy or thought. They have no opinions on how to fix Social Security or the budget.
Can we first start talking about the fact that Dan Crenshaw is somehow now considered a moderate? I mean, this is the guy who in his office has a picture of like Donald Trump rearing up on a war horse, right? This is not a moderate guy. This is a guy who wants to be in power. Right. That's what these people all want. And also, I have to say, for the quote unquote moderate Republicans, of which I used to be one, they have been complicit in all of this. For all of this time, they have gone along with all of this. They all could have made sure that Donald Trump and MAGA and all of this stuff went away, and they didn't do it. They were willing to go along with it because they thought it was the easy path to power. They thought they were going to take 50 or 60 seats away from Democrats this year, that this was all going to be easy. Think about this. Kevin McCarthy's PAC raised $260 million this year to get what? A 9-seat majority and eternal humiliation for Kevin McCarthy. Like, these people don't care. They don't care about any of it. They never have, and they never will. It's all about now making sure Kevin never gets the gavel. What else could he give them? Literally, what else could he give them? I mean, you just read off the list of things. Half those things don't go anywhere. I mean, he could just give them to him because no bill on half this stuff's going to clear the Senate. But at this point, I mean, he's given them his soul. He's given them everything he's got, and they don't want it. And you just say, this is what appeasement gets you. When you appease bullies like these people, this is what it gets you.
Now, I can't disagree with what he has to say or what the pundit has to say. This has very little to do with principles. This has everything to do with a small group wanting to assert power. I tell you what, if this is the beginning of what Republican leadership in the House looks like, buckle up. The nation is in trouble. And guess whose fault it is? Our fault. We elected these folks who have telegraphed to us for years that they do not know how to govern. It is our fault that these guys are going to be in power in the House. So I ask, what are we going to do? We should never again elect within this particular Republican Party another person with an R next to their name until there is some reform in what they call some sort of a conservative party. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.